So very good evening, one and all. Happy evening. We all are back with full of energy to happy evening. So there's a small disturbance in between. So again, I came back. So hope I am clear to everybody. So am I audible and visible to you all? So before starting our session, today's power capsule is sunshine. As you all know, sunshine is very powerful. Sun is very powerful. The kind of rays from sun are called as sunshine, which is very important for every living being on earth. For the existence of earth, sun is very, very important planet, because when you look into that particular solar system, you see all the planets revolving around the sun. Okay, so sun is a very powerful planet. A flower cannot blossom without a sun. A man cannot live without a light. So to what extent it is powerful, we all know it. In the same way, we all human beings should also shine like the sun. If we want to shine, if we want to give that kind of vibrant races to everyone, we also should burn ourselves like sun. Burning ourselves like sun means we have to put that much of effort and passion to become successful in life. And we should be the powerhouse where we will try to give, or where we will try to provide light to many of the people around us. Okay, so basing on this particular concept of sunshine, it generally says that సూర్యుడు ఎంత ప్రభావం కలిగిన సూర్యుడు ఎంత ఆ సూర్యకాంతులతో మనలందరినీ కూడా ఎంత ప్రభావితం. ఎందుకంటే ఒక సూర్యుడు ఒక రోజు ఉదయించకపోయినా కూడా మనం అంతా డార్క్నెస్ లో ఉంటామండి. వి ఆల్ విల్ బి ఇన్ డార్క్నెస్ ఇఫ్ సన్ డజంట్ రైజ్ అట్లీస్ట్ వన్ డే. అదే విధంగా మనం కూడా ఒక సూర్యుడు లాగా, సూర్యుడు కిరణాలలాగా, సూర్యుడు కాంతి లాగా మనం షైన్ అవ్వాలంటే ఖచ్చితంగా దానికి కావాల్సిన ఎఫర్ట్ కానీ, ప్రయత్నం కానీ మనం చేయాలండి. So your goal should not be a small goal. Your goal should be a big goal. Then automatically your efforts towards it will also be in a great deal. CA అనేది మనం ఒక చిన్న గోల్ అనుకున్నా, CAని మనం CA అయిన తర్వాత మన వల్ల సొసైటీకి కానీ, నేషన్ కానీ ఏ విధంగా ఉపయోగపడుతుందని మీరు ఆలోచించుకున్నట్లయితే CA అచీవ్ చేయడం చాలా ఈజీ అమ్మా. Many will think that madam passing CA itself is very tough. సో ఒక చిన్న గీత దగ్గర ఒక పెద్ద గీత గీసామనుకోండి, మనకు ఆటోమేటిక్ గా గోల్ అచీవ్ చేయడం చాలా ఈజీ. సో CA అనేది కాదు, CA అయిన తర్వాత నా వల్ల సొసైటీకి నేను ఏ విధంగా ఉపయోగపడతాను, నేను ఏ విధంగా నేషనల్ బిల్డింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ లో నేను హెల్ప్ చేయగలుగుతాను అని మీరు ఆలోచించగలిగితే డెఫినెట్ గా యూ విల్ అచీవ్ దిస్ పర్టికులర్ గోల్ ఆఫ్ CA. సో ఐ వాంట్ ఆల్ మై స్టూడెంట్స్ to shine like sun in your life at every stage of your life. Remove all the darkness. మొత్తం చీకటిని అంతా తొలగించేసి మనం ఒక విద్యుత్ కాంతి లాగా మనం షైన్ అవ్వాలి అనుకున్నట్లయితే దానికి కావాల్సిన కృషిని, శ్రమని కూడా మనము అంతే విధంగా మనం we have to accept it. Okay, so I hope this particular power capsule for today will give you lots of energy to listen the session with so much of power and energy in you. Okay, so everyone are ready with pen and paper. Let us begin the session. Before beginning the session, we will have a small recap of last class. Okay, last two classes low, we have started this concept of share capital. Share capital concept ni manam last two classes lo discuss chestunnam amma. We have discussed so many concepts in this particular topic of share capital. We have discussed what are the types of share capital, equity share capital, preference share capital. Okay, we have seen the important concept of transfer and transmission of shares. Okay, so along with we have discussed the concept of sweat equity shares. So all these are different small important concepts relating to share capital. And for today's session, what is an agenda for today's session, madam? Today we are going to discuss the last part of this particular topic of share capital. Okay, what is this particular concept? What are the concepts for today's session are? What is meant by rights issue or further issue? What are called as bonus issue, bonus shares? Okay, explain the process of reduction of share capital by order of the court or tribunal. Difference between forfeiture of shares and surrender of shares. Okay, and the last important concept is buyback of shares, which is very, very important because we have already discussed about redemption of preference shares in the previous class. Okay, what is the procedure for redemption of preference shares we have seen in the previous class. Okay, so before starting the session, let us have this particular PowerPoint slide. So let us see them. Let us begin with our PowerPoint. Okay. We have seen the types of share capital. And we have discussed what is equity share capital with differential voting right. We discussed the concept of share certificate, within what time the share certificate will be issued. Okay, so next, what is called as rights associated to these equity shareholders and preference shareholders? What is the basic difference? How to vary the rights of particular class of shareholders? What is a call and what are calls in advance? Who will issue? Who will make the calls? And what are the applications for securities premium account, prohibition of issue of shares at discount, sweat equity shares, transfer and transmission of shares, reason for refusal to register the transfer, and what is the procedure for rectification of register of members. Okay, with this we have completed this we have seen all the different parts of this particular, the previous session. Now, in today's session, as I have already mentioned you, we are going to discuss first initially what is called as further issue or rights issue and what is meant by bonus shares and what is general difference between those. Before saying this, before teaching this particular topic of further issue under section 62, as you all know, there are two types of resolutions passed in the general meeting by the equity shareholders: special resolution and ordinary resolution. Okay. Here, one important concept of explanatory statement. The word explanatory statement is used in the concept of special resolution. I want to give you details regarding explanatory statement. What is an explanatory statement? Okay, so before saying that particular concept of explanatory statement, let me give you this information. As we all know, company will issue notice to all the shareholders, debenture holders, preference shareholders, auditors, whoever are related to the company, asking them to come and attend the general meeting. General meeting is held every year by the company within the prescribed time limit specified by the Companies Act. Companies Act చెప్పిన టైం లిమిట్ ప్రకారము ప్రతి సంవత్సరము కూడా జనరల్ మీటింగ్ అనేది కండక్ట్ చేస్తారు. అయితే ఈ జనరల్ మీటింగ్ లో మనం ఏ విషయాలు డిస్కస్ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నాం, what are the business issues, what are the different aspects which we are going to discuss in the general meeting would be specific notice lo mention చేస్తారు. అయితే ఇక్కడ కంపెనీస్ యాక్ట్ ఏమంటుందంటే, what does the Companies Act says here is, first suppose if you are taking a decision in the general meeting for which the special resolution is required. ఏ అంశానికైతే స్పెషల్ రిజల్యూషన్ కావాలో అటువంటి సందర్భాలలో ఇన్ దట్ కేస్ the information relating to passing of special resolution should be given in detail in a separate note or a separate copy attached to the notice, which is called as explanatory statement అంటున్నారు. అంటే దాని అర్థం ఏంటంటే మీరు ఏ రిజల్యూషన్ ఏ డెసిషన్ అయితే తీసుకోవాలనుకుంటున్నారో మీటింగ్ లో దేనికైతే స్పెషల్ రిజల్యూషన్ పాస్ చేయాలో అందుకని మీరు ఆ స్పెషల్ ఆ పర్టికులర్ డెసిషన్ సంబంధించిన ప్రతి ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఆస్పెక్ట్ ని డీటెయిల్డ్ గా దాని బ్రీఫ్ గా క్లియర్ గా మీరు నోటీస్ తో పాటు ఒక సపరేట్ కాపీని అటాచ్ చేయాలి. ఆ సపరేట్ కాపీని ఏమంటారో తెలుసా? ఎక్స్ప్లనేటరీ స్టేట్మెంట్ విచ్ ఇస్ మ్యాండేటరీ టు బి గివెన్ అలాంగ్ విత్ ద నోటీస్ బై ద బోర్డ్ ఆఫ్ డైరెక్టర్స్ ఓన్లీ ఇన్ కేస్ ఆఫ్ స్పెషల్ రిజల్యూషన్. వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్ బిట్. Therefore, the explanatory statement is required to be given by the board of directors along with the special resolution in case of a general meeting. Madam, suppose if the board of directors forget to give the explanatory statement, marchipoyaru ivvaledu, notice ichchesaru, meeting conduct chesaru, then meeting would become invalid under the Companies Act. What, madam? If they fail to give an explanatory statement, meeting is invalid? Yes, it is invalid. Explanatory statement is having that much of weightage, that much of importance. It's a responsibility of the board of directors to explain in detail for what decision they are going to take a special resolution. I explain అందుకని explanatory statement is the information which is explained clearly అని అర్థం. అది ఇవ్వకపోతే తప్పెవరిది? డైరెక్టర్స్ ది. సో నోటీస్ ఇన్వాలిడ్ అయిపోతుందమ్మా, ఆటోమేటిక్ గా మీటింగ్ కూడా ఇన్వాలిడ్ అవుతుంది. If the notice is invalid according to the provisions of Companies Act, meeting also would get automatically invalid. So దానికి పెట్టిన ఖర్చు అంతా కూడా, దాన్ని స్పెండ్ చేసిన అమౌంట్ అంతా కూడా వేస్ట్ అయిపోతుంది. Understood? Okay, madam, is this explanatory statement required for ordinary resolution and board resolution? No, not at all. In the instances or in the cases where the company have to pass ordinary resolutions or special resolution, board resolutions. Ordinary resolution, board resolution పాస్ చేయాల్సిన ఇన్స్టెన్సెస్ లో ఎక్స్ప్లనేటరీ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఇవ్వాల్సిన అవసరమే లేదండి. నాట్ ఎట్ ఆల్ నెసెసరీ. ఓకే, without explanatory statement they are valid. Understood now? Because why I am telling here is, here in these particular provisions, wherever you get the provision of a special resolution, there it is mandatory for the company to give even explanatory statement. Explanatory statement ఇవ్వాల్సిన అవసరం కూడా, which is important for special resolution only, which is taken by equity shareholders in the general meeting. In the last class, we have mentioned only equity shareholders have right to vote in the general meeting. Okay, so వాళ్ళకి right to vote అనేది వస్తుంది. Madam, what is this concept of further issue? దీని ఫర్దర్ ఇష్యూని కేటగరైజ్ చేశారు 3 ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ గా. ఒకటి రైట్స్ ఇష్యూ అంటున్నారు, ఇంకొకటి ఈసాప్స్ అంటున్నారు, ఇంకొకటి ప్రిఫరెన్షియల్ ఇష్యూ అంటున్నారు. Okay, what is this further issue? It is categorized into 3 types. It is called as rights issue, it is called as preferential issue, it is also called ESOP. ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఈ ఫర్దర్ ఇష్యూలో వస్తాయి. ఇక్కడ కంపెనీ వాళ్ళు there is no compulsion for existing equity shareholders Okay. So I think there is small interruption going on. There is some problem with net. So please bear, and I'm continuing the class. Okay. So I hope it is being audible for everyone, and am I visible? Okay. So thank you, friends. Okay, fine. So let's continue with this particular further issue. As I have already told you, this further issue is made first to existing equity shareholders. For whom it is made? To existing equity shareholders. And because before making this further issue, the company it will not issue prospectus to them. Company will issue a document called as a letter of offer to them. Okay, once this letter of offer is made, is given to these existing equity shareholders, the existing equity shareholders, whoever are interested in purchasing those shares, can apply to the company. However, there is no pressure on them to accept this particular offer. Therefore, it is not mandatory for them. If they want, they can accept. Otherwise, they can reject the offer. But however, they should intimate it to the company within a specified time of 15 days, minimum of 15 days to maximum of 30 days. అంటే లెటర్ ఆఫ్ ఆఫర్ ఇచ్చిన తర్వాత కంపెనీ వాళ్ళు మినిమం 15 రోజులు మాక్సిమం 30 days లోపల దే షుడ్ స్పెసిఫై టు ద కంపెనీ, దే షుడ్ ఇంటిమేట్ టు ద కంపెనీ వెదర్ దే వాంట్ టు పర్చేజ్ ఆర్ నాట్. ఓకే, సో వాళ్ళకి కొనాలి, వాళ్ళు పర్చేస్ చేద్దాము అనుకున్నట్లయితే దెన్ కంపెనీ విల్ మేక్ ఏ ఇష్యూ టు దెమ్. అదర్వైజ్ ఇఫ్ దే డోంట్ want to take that particular offer, they can reject it. Then directors will offer them to somebody else. Okay, so in this particular case of right of offer document, therefore there is no mandatory rule that they have to accept the offer. Okay, however the concept of minimum subscription also applies here. Allotment procedures and this rights issue అనేది ఫ్రీగా చేయట్లేదండి. For the purpose of money, the company is making the offer. Okay, so this is a concept of rights issue. Next, ESOPs. ESOPs is nothing but employee stock option. Whoever are the employees, permanent employees and directors of the company, excluding independent director. Here, who are there? Employees means who? I am employee definition lo evararu vastarandi. He is a permanent employee of the company, including directors, but he is not there doesn't include independent director. He is employee of holding company or subsidiary company or associate company. Okay, however, promoters are not included in the definition of employees. And directors who are holding more than 10% of outstanding equity shares of the company are also not included. Everever include avvatledu, promoter gani, director gani, who holds the shares more than 10% of the equity shares of the company are not included. In such cases, అటువంటి employees ni encourage చేయడం కోసమని, employees performance improve, it's a kind of reward given to the employees in kind before making such offer. Okay, for that particular case, the company ఆ particular ESOPs అనే ఆప్షన్ అంటే ESOPs అనే ఆప్షన్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేసే ముందు the company have to pass special resolution. In case of a public company అయితే పబ్లిక్ కంపెనీ ఇది ఏ రిజల్యూషన్ పాస్ చేయాలమ్మా? స్పెషల్ రిజల్యూషన్. సో స్పెషల్ రిజల్యూషన్ పాస్ చేస్తున్నారు కాబట్టి ఏముండాలి? ఎక్స్ప్లెనేటరీ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఉండాలి. ఎప్పుడు ఇవ్వాలి ఎక్స్ప్లెనేటరీ స్టేట్మెంట్? along with the notice before calling for the meeting. So notice తో పాటు ఎక్స్ప్లెనేటరీ స్టేట్మెంట్ ని అటాచ్ చేయాలి. However, in case of a private company, it is sufficient for the company పాస్ చేసిన తరువాతే ESOPs అనేది ఇష్యూ చేస్తారు. అయితే మేడం మరి ఎంప్లాయీస్ ESOPs అనే షేర్స్ ఫామ్ కదా మేడం, మనకి లాకింగ్ పీరియడ్ ఏమన్నా ఉంటుందా? And what is the lock-in period means? Once the shares are allotted to those employees, they can't sell them immediately. They have to wait either for 1 year, 2 years or 3 years as fixed by the company in their articles. And a company వాళ్ళు వేరియస్ కంపెనీస్ ఖచ్చితంగా ఇన్ ఇయర్స్ లాక్ ఇన్ పీరియడ్ ఉండాలి అని ఎక్కడ మెన్షన్ చేయలేదమ్మా యాక్ట్ లో. And then at the will and wish of the company, they can fix the lock-in period. If in articles of the company says that the ESOPs cannot be sold for next 2 years, for a lock, they are locked for a period of 2 years అన్నారు అనుకోండి, వాళ్ళకి అలాట్ చేసిన తర్వాత 2 years వరకు వెయిట్ చేయాలి. They can't sell in the market or convert it, the ESOPs into cash. ఓకేనా? సో ఎంప్లాయీ చనిపోతే ఈ షేర్స్ అన్ని కూడా ఆటోమేటిక్ గా వాళ్ళ లీగల్ హైర్ కి వెళ్తాయి. ఓకే, సో ఎంప్లాయీ చనిపోయి ఎంప్లాయీ రిజైన్ చేసి వెళ్ళిపోతే వేరే కంపెనీకి మేడం, దానికి కూడా స్పెసిఫిక్ రూల్స్ అండ్ రెగ్యులేషన్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఎంతవరకు ఆ పర్టికులర్ షేర్స్ అతనికి అవైలబుల్ గా ఉంటాయి అనేది కూడా క్లియర్ గా ఆర్టికల్స్ లో స్పెసిఫై చేస్తారు. ఓకే, సో దీస్ ఆర్ ద ఇంపార్టెంట్ పాయింట్స్ విచ్ యూ హావ్ టు కీప్ ఇన్ మైండ్ రిలేటింగ్ టు ESOPs. So ESOPs are nothing but equity shares which are given to existing employees. Employee here includes permanent employee, directors excluding independent directors, and employees of holding subsidiary or associate company. Okay, so this is about ESOPs. So ఇక్కడ ప్రిస్క్రైబ్డ్ ఫామ్ లో వన్స్ ESOPs ఇష్యూ చేసిన తర్వాత కానీ, రైట్స్ ఇష్యూ అయిన తర్వాత కానీ, ఇట్స్ అ మ్యాండేటరీ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ ఫర్ ద కంపెనీ. మీటింగ్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత, జనరల్ మీటింగ్ ఎక్కడైతే కండక్ట్ చేసి రిజల్యూషన్ పాస్ చేస్తామో, మీటింగ్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత it is mandatory responsibility of the company to file a copy of it in a prescribed form to ROC. So I told you before itself, whatever act the company does, whatever resolution the company passes, it will be legal only when it file the details to ROC. ROC కా డీటెయిల్స్ అన్నిటిని సబ్మిట్ చేసిన తర్వాతే అది లీగల్ అవుతుంది అంటున్నారు. Okay, Nama. So this is also part of further issue. Next, issue of shares on preferential basis. Underline the word preferential. Ante, if you want to give some shares to only specific category or group of people of the company, a specific category or group anedi emiti, what is it exactly were not mentioned in the act. In the specific category, they may include employees or they may not include employees. They may include existing equity shareholders. They may not include existing equity shareholders, which is given. Whatever who will fall under this particular category will be specified by the company in its articles. Articles lo specify chestaru. Okay na? So aటువంటి వాళ్ళకి preferential basis మీద selected group of persons కి కంపెనీలో షేర్స్ అలాట్ చేసినట్లయితే, that is called as issue of shares on preferential basis. Here you will not use any word of prospectus here because it excludes public issue, and this definition doesn't fall in the category of public issue, rights issue, ESOPs, sweat equity shares, bonus issue, depository receipts, and foreign securities. All points does not fall under this particular category. In this particular case also, for the purpose of going for issue of shares on preferential basis also, it is mandatory for the company to pass a special resolution. What it is necessary? Special resolution is necessary. Along with this, since it is passing special resolution, it is important for the company to prepare an explanatory statement and use this explanatory statement along with the notice to the shareholders from whom all it is specified. Okay, and within 12 months from the date of passing of the special resolution, within how much time? Within 12 months from the date of passing of special resolution, shares should be allotted to whom all they want to allot. ఎవరెవరికైతే ఇష్యూ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నారో వాళ్ళందరికీ కూడా within 12 months లోపల షేర్స్ ని అలాట్ చేయాలి. అర్థమైందమ్మా? So these three are major important aspects relating to further issue. Therefore, in the concept of further issue, you have rights issue, you have ESOPs, and you have issue of shares on preferential basis. Okay, so this is an important theoretical question. If they ask you to explain the concept of rights issue or further issue, you should specify all the details under section 62 of the Companies Act. Okay, in all these three cases, is the company going for any fresh issue or they are going to make an offer to outside public? No. Therefore, here the word of prospectus is nowhere used. Okay, so since it is made to existing shareholders, that is why it is called as further issue. Okay, So the next concept of bonus shares under section 63, we will discuss. This is an important theoretical question. What is called as a bonus share? Okay, if company is having lots of profits, generally how the dividends are paid to the equity shareholders, from where the dividends are paid to the equity shareholders? Like the dividends are paid out of the profits of the company, right? And if company is enjoying lots of accumulated profits, and company want those profits not to be given as a dividend, the company want to use them for their further growth or expansion. In such cases, the company have a very important concept of capitalizing these profits. What it is? Capitalizing the profit. For the purpose of capitalizing the profits, the company can issue bonus shares. However, the company have to follow respective procedure. Before going for a bonus issue, there should be a provision in the articles. The company's board of directors will decide. They'll pass a board resolution for issue of bonus shares. See, for the purpose of rights issue, we are seeing a special resolution. But for purpose of bonus shares, we are here. Who is authorizing here for the purpose of bonus issue? The company directors are authorized. Then the company have to take the approval of the directors. That is why they have to pass a board resolution. However, before going for the bonus issue, the company should look into this particular very important matter also. What is it? The company should not make any default in repayment of debts to the creditors. It should not make any default in repayment of interest or dividends. And it should not make any default in paying the statutory dues like income tax, provident fund, etc. Okay, ఈ మూడు పాయింట్స్ కూడా చాలా చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. It should not make any default in repayment of statutory dues. It should not make any default in repayment of interest or dividend or in repayment of debts to the creditors. ఇవన్నీ satisfy అయితేనే the company can go for issuing the bonus shares. The company can issue bonus shares, that those are like fully paid up equity shares to the existing equity shareholders, or they can convert partly paid up shares into fully paid up shares. Okay, for the purpose of issuing fully paid up bonus shares, what are the sources for issue? ఈ బోనస్ ఇష్యూ చేయాలంటే ఏమిటి సోర్సెస్ ఏంటి, ఎక్కడి నుంచి తీసుకురావచ్చు అమౌంట్? They can use free reserves, they can use security premium account, and they can use CRR also. Understood now for what purpose CRR is used? CRR is used for the purpose of issue of bonus shares. The word bonus ante enti free అని అర్థం. Existing equity shareholders ki okay, ఫ్రీగా షేర్స్ ఇస్తారు. There is no amount collected from the shareholders. అంటే కంపెనీ ప్రాఫిట్స్ ని షేర్స్ ఫార్మ్ లో ఈక్విటీ షేర్ హోల్డర్స్ కి ఇస్తున్నారండి, నాట్ ఇన్ ఫార్మ్ ఆఫ్ డైరెక్ట్ క్యాష్. సో దట్ కంపెనీ ప్రాఫిట్స్ కంపెనీతోనే ఉంటాయి, బయటికి వెళ్ళవు. దట్ ఈస్ వై ఇట్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ as capitalization of the profits. However, if a shareholder, whoever have this bonus shares, he can enjoy it in the later stage by selling them in the open market. Okay, so therefore this issue will be made by the company. Okay, so what is the difference between rights issue and bonus issue, madam? The main difference here is rights issue is allotted for cash or for some amount from the shareholders. Same in the both cases, it is given to existing equity shareholders only. Even rights issue is given for the existing equity shareholders. Bonus issue is also given to existing equity shareholders. But however, in rights issue is given at cost, but bonus issue is given free of cost. The concept of minimum subscription is okay. So the next important concept, before explaining this particular point, I'll give you a small information. What is a notice given to registrar for alteration of the share capital? See, I have already told you, want to alter its capital clause in MOA. Okay, the company is altering its capital clause in MOA. Either want to increase the authorized capital or reduce the authorized capital. Whatever it want to do, it have to pass that respective resolution and intimate it to ROC. Or if your company want to redeem its preference shares, It can do. It will be valid only after following respective provisions, and finally it should give intimation to ROs. Here this point is very simple under section 64. In whatever way you alter the share capital, either by redemption of preference shares, or by increase or decrease of authorized capital, or reducing the paid up. Okay, fine. The small interruption today, so please bear with me. There is a frequent fluctuation of net, so let's continue the class now. Okay. Now, in the case of forfeiture of shares, the company is going to cancel the shares allotted. What is the reason for cancellation, madam? What is the reason for cancellation? When the company allots shares, it will allot for application money. Later on, whenever company want money for accomplishment or for completion of its business, what the company does? It will go for call. The board of directors will call, make a call, give a notice to all the shareholders for whom the shares are allotted. ఎవరెవరికైతే షేర్స్ అలాట్ చేశారో వాళ్ళందరికీ కూడా నోటీస్ ఇచ్చి కాల్ చేస్తారు. కాల్ చేసి విత్ ఇన్ ప్రిస్క్రైబ్ టైం దే విల్ ఆస్క్ దెమ్ టు పే ద మనీ, కాల్ మనీ. ఓకే, అలాగా కాల్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఇట్ ఇస్ అ లయబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ ద షేర్ హోల్డర్ టు పే ద కాల్ మనీ టు ద కంపెనీ. If he fails to do so, they give repeated reminders. Reminder is the. They will give again, they'll send a notice asking him to pay the money within a specified time. And they will also attach a notice or information to that particular notice saying him that within this particular time, if you could not pay to the company, there is a provision in the articles which says that, which emphasizes, which gives power to the directors to cancel your shares allotted to you. Okay, so అటువంటి సందర్భాల్లో స్పెసిఫిక్ గా ఈ పర్టికులర్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ని మెన్షన్ చేస్తారు నోటీస్ లో. Even after specifying this information in the notice, if still the shareholder could not pay the call money, finally what the company directors will do, they will issue give him a notice saying that his shares are cancelled, and they'll strike off his name from the register of members, and his membership would be seized, cancelled అంటున్నారు. అర్థమైందమ్మా? ఓకే, సో మేడం క్యాన్సిల్ చేయడం వల్ల ఏ అమౌంట్ అయితే పే చేశాడో ఆ షేర్ హోల్డర్ అది రిఫండ్ చేసేస్తారా షేర్ హోల్డర్ కి? దే వుడ్ గివ్ బ్యాక్ ది అమౌంట్ టు ద షేర్ హోల్డర్, వాట్ ఎవర్ అమౌంట్ పేడ్ బై ద shareholder. No, they will not give back. Suppose for 100 rupees, for the value of the share is 100, if you paid 60 rupees, madam, you paid 60 rupees for each share. Will it not be refunded? No, it will not be refunded. Okay, so he will lose all the money which he have paid on those shares. So he should be very careful when purchasing the shares. Only if his financial position is good, he can go and invest in the shares, he can purchase. If he could not pay, he should drop the option of purchasing the shares. ముందే ఆలోచించుకోవాలి, నేను కొనగలుగుతానా లేదా, నా ఫైనాన్షియల్ పొజిషన్ బాగుంటుందా బాగుండదా, నేను కాల్ మనీ పే చేయగలుగుతానా చేయలేనా అని అనలైజ్ చేసుకోవాలి ముందే. అలా కాకుండా తొందరపడి మీరు కాంట్రాక్ట్ లోకి ఎంటర్ అయిపోయారు అనుకోండి అమ్మా, మీరు ఫ్యూచర్ లో పే చేయలేదు అనుకోండి, మొత్తం మీ షేర్స్ మీకు ఎలా చేసిన షేర్స్ అమౌంట్ కూడా క్యాన్సిల్ అయిపోతుంది. ఓకే. సో మరి ఇప్పుడు దీని వల్ల ఫర్ఫిట్ చేయడం వల్ల కంపెనీకి రావాల్సిన డబ్బులు ఆగిపోతాయి కదా. వాట్ ఎవర్ ది అమౌంట్ కంపెనీ హ్యావ్ టు రిసీవ్ యాజ్ ఎ కాల్ మనీ ఫ్రమ్ దట్ పర్టికులర్ షేర్ హోల్డర్స్ ఆగిపోతాయి కదా. దాని వల్ల ఆ కంపెనీ అనుకున్న క్యాపిటల్ రాలేదనుకోండి, if company could not receive the capital what it is expecting from the shareholders because of forfeiture, there's an option available to the company to reissue those shares. ఈ ఫర్ఫిట్ చేసిన షేర్స్ ని, ఈ పార్ట్లీ పేడ్ అప్ షేర్స్ ని మళ్ళీ మార్కెట్ లో రీఇష్యూ చేసుకోవచ్చు ఫర్ ది అమౌంట్ విచ్ ఇస్ మోర్ దాన్ ద బ్యాలెన్స్ అన్పెయిడ్ అమౌంట్. అంటే అమౌంట్ ఎంత అన్పెయిడ్ ఉన్నో దానికన్నా ఎక్కువ ప్రైస్ కి మార్కెట్ లో రీఇష్యూ చేసుకోవచ్చు. లేదు మాకు పర్వాలే, whatever capital is there, it is sufficient for us to carry on the business, they will not reissue. And this option of reissue is left with the directors of the company. So directors of the company will decide whether they want to go for reissue or they don't want to go for reissue. Okay. So here see, what are the consequences of forfeiture? Once the forfeiture is made, his name will be removed from register of members. He will be seized as a member. For him, he cannot attend any meeting or vote in the meeting. Okay. And he have to surrender the share certificate to the company. Whatever share certificate is given to him, he should surrender it to the company. For suppose, if he failed to surrender, he got very angry on the company. What company have cancelled my shares? I don't want to surrender the share certificate. If he thinks so, then what the company's next action will be, company will give an advertisement, happily will give an advertisement in the newspaper. And newspaper advertisement, the shareholder possessing this particular share certificate with so number of shares, that particular share certificate is invalid. Advertisement is so. సో అలా ఆ షేర్ సర్టిఫికేట్ ఇంకా చెల్లదు అని ఒకసారి పబ్లిక్ లో అడ్వర్టైజ్ చేశారనుకోండమ్మా, అతను ఓల్డ్ షేర్ హోల్డర్ దగ్గర ఉన్నా ఒకటే, లేకపోయినా ఒకటే. అలాంటి సందర్భాలు, ఇన్ దోస్ సిచ్యువేషన్స్ మేడం, ఇఫ్ ద కంపెనీ ఇస్ గోయింగ్ ఫర్ రీఇష్యూ and for the new shareholder, company will again issue fresh certificate if the old certificate is not surrendered to the company. What is an option? The company will give an advertisement in the newspaper and they will, this particular share certificate which is new will be given to that particular new shareholder for whom the reissue or forfeiture of shares had taken place. Okay, this is a procedure for forfeiture of shares. So forfeiture is nothing but cancellation. This reissue will also take place according to the will, and that is why they are saying board resolution is necessary for the forfeiture. Next, what is meant by surrender, madam? There is difference between forfeiture and surrender. Surrendering ante giving back another. What is the meaning of surrender? Forfeiture ante cancellation na chepparu. But surrender ante enti madam? Giving back. See, it's a voluntary act. There are two options left with the company for surrender of shares. Two options. Voluntary act of the shareholder surrendering his shares to the company. ఎందుకు సరెండర్ చేయాల్సి వస్తుంది, ఎటువంటి సందర్భాల్లో సరెండర్ చేయాల్సి వస్తుంది అనేవి రెండు ఆప్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయి, మనం డిస్కస్ చేయబోతున్నాం. There are two options for surrender of shares. What are those two options? Number one, first suppose if the shareholder want to exchange his shares to some other shares of the company, he want to exchange equity shares with preference shares. If you want to exchange, in such cases, he can voluntary and ఎవరి బలవంతం లేకుండా ఫ్రీగా కంపెనీని అప్రోచ్ అవ్వచ్చు. ఆ పర్టికులర్ షేర్స్ ని వేరే సేమ్ వాల్యూ ఉన్న వేరే టైప్ ఆఫ్ షేర్స్ పై ఎక్స్చేంజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఇది ఒక ఆప్షన్. ఇంకొక సందర్భంలో అనదర్ సిచ్యువేషన్ ఏంటంటే, ఇన్ కేస్ ఆఫ్ సరెండర్ ఆఫ్ షేర్స్, if the shareholder thinks, if he comes to his knowledge that he is not in position to pay the call money to the company, అంటే ఆ షేర్ హోల్డర్ యొక్క ఫైనాన్షియల్ పొజిషన్ తనకి అర్థమైపోయింది, కానీ దాని బిజినెస్ సరిగ్గా నడవట్లేదు, నేను ఇన్సాల్వెన్సీకి వెళ్ళిపోతున్నాను, నాకు ఇంటి ఖర్చులకే నాకు డబ్బులు లేవు, నేను ఇక కంపెనీకి ఎక్కడి నుంచి పే చేస్తా కాల్ మనీ, తనకు అర్థమైపోయింది అనుకోండి అమ్మా. ఆ షేర్ హోల్డర్ ఏం చేస్తాడో తెలుసా, వాలంటరీగా, అంటే కంపెనీ వాళ్ళ దగ్గర నుంచి నోటీస్ వస్తుందా అని ఎదురు చూడకుండా, whether I will get notice or not from the company, he will not wait. He will voluntarily, beforehand, he will voluntarily go to the company and surrender his shares and tell to the directors that, directors, I am going into insolvency position. I could not pay any call money. So please forfeit my shares. అని వాలంటరీగా తను వెళ్ళొచ్చు. అటువంటి సందర్భాల్లో the company will give notice. Company will give notice to that particular fellow saying that your shares are forfeited because you are going into insolvency. సో ఈ విధంగా రెండు ఇన్స్టెన్సెస్ లో సరెండర్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. నెంబర్ 1, ఫస్ట్ ఇన్స్టెన్స్ ఇస్ సరెండర్ ఫర్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్ ఆఫ్ అనదర్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ fully paid up shares. Second instance is beforehand itself, if the shareholder comes to know that he is going into insolvency, he will go and surrender the shares to the company. Later on, the company will forfeit the shares. That is why before the act of the surrender also, it is sufficient for the company or the board of directors to pass a resolution. And they should have provision in the articles. Economic provision articles. Therefore, Companies Act did not give any detailed explanation relating to surrender of shares. Therefore, in this particular case, it is sufficient to have a provision in the articles. It is sufficient for the company to pass a board resolution. However, there is an option for the company, madam, in case ఇలా వాలంటరీగా సరెండర్ చేయడం వల్ల కూడా కంపెనీ క్యాపిటల్ తగ్గుతోంది కదా, మరి అటువంటి సందర్భాల్లో ది సరెండర్ చేసిన షేర్స్ ని కూడా రీఇష్యూ చేసుకోవచ్చా కంపెనీ వాళ్ళు? yes, the company can go for reissue of the surrender shares which are partly paid up అయ్యి కంపెనీకి ఇంకా డబ్బు కావాల్సి వస్తే the company can go for reissue. So in this way, the company can go and for reissue for forfeiture shares and reissue of surrender of partly paid up shares. Okay, so the main here forfeiture is cancellation. Surrender is a voluntary act. When you forfeit, when the company forfeits shares, the shareholder will not get any money. In case of surrender, if you want to surrender his fully paid up shares, he can get in exchange of another type of shares. Understood? So this is an important basic difference between forfeiture and surrender. So the next procedure, next concept is reduction of share capital under section 66. Very, very important examination theoretical question. Reduction of share capital. See, until now, see what all points we have covered. Before starting of the session, I have explained you the concept of explanatory statement, which is mandatory for special reservation. Next, we have discussed the concept of what is meant by further issue, what is meant by issue of bonus shares, and what is the difference between rights issue and bonus issue. And afterwards, we discuss the concept of what is called as forfeiture of shares, what is called as surrender of shares. What is difference between forfeiture and what is difference between forfeiture and surrender. Okay, so the next important concept for our examination is reduction of share capital. What does it exactly mean, madam? I have previously explained you the concept of capital clause when we are in the initial classes, when we are discussing the different clauses of MOA. When we are discussing different clauses of MOA, in the capital clause, we have mentioned that whatever authorized capital which is prescribed in the MOA lo mention chesina authorized capital increase cheyalanna decrease cheyalanna కంపెనీ వాళ్ళు జనరల్ మీటింగ్ లో ఆర్డినరీ రిజల్యూషన్ పాస్ చేసుకుంటే సరిపోతుంది అని చెప్తున్నా. ఏ రిజల్యూషన్ పాస్ చేస్తే సరిపోతుందా? ఆర్డినరీ రిజల్యూషన్. ఓకే, అలా కాకుండా ఈ ఆథరైజ్డ్ క్యాపిటల్ ని ఇంక్రీజ్ చేయాలన్నా డిక్రీజ్ చేయాలన్నా కూడా మనం ఏమి చేసినా ద ఆథరైజ్డ్ క్యాపిటల్ ఇంపాక్ట్ వుడ్ నాట్ ఫాల్ అండర్ ద క్యాపిటల్ ఆఫ్ అ కంపెనీ. Okay, altering the authorized capital which will not have any impact on the capital because it is not the existing capital or paid up capital in the company. Okay, if the company is making any changes in the authorized capital, it will not impact. But in case if the company want to reduce its paid up capital, if the company want to reduce its subscribed capital, in such cases the company have to follow the procedure under 66 of the Companies Act. Very, very important. If the company, here I am not telling about reduction or nor I am telling about buyback. Okay, అవి కాకుండా కంపెనీ వాళ్ళ యొక్క పెయిడప్ క్యాపిటల్ కానీ, కంపెనీ యొక్క సబ్స్క్రైబ్డ్ క్యాపిటల్ కానీ, లేదా కంపెనీ యొక్క అన్పెయిడ్ వాల్యూని క్యాన్సిల్ చేయడం కానీ చేసినట్లయితే, చెయ్యాలనుకున్నట్లయితే కంపెనీ వాళ్ళు, రిడక్షన్ ఆఫ్ షేర్ క్యాపిటల్ బై ఆర్డర్ ఆఫ్ ద కోర్ట్ ఆర్ ట్రిబ్యునల్స్ అప్రూవల్ ఇస్ రిక్వైర్డ్ అండర్ సెక్షన్ 66 ఆఫ్ ది కంపెనీస్ యాక్ట్. ఆ ప్రొసీజర్ ఏంటో చెప్తారు. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, the value of the total value of the share for a company is 100 rupees. If the entire 100 rupees is paid by the shareholder, by all the shareholders, and if company is thinking it's an excess value, and if excess capital is not pitching ankondi, capital is a liability only no for the share company, and it want to reduce the value of the share from 100 rupees to 80 rupees. So it can reduce this particular 20 rupees by taking an approval of the court. Court approval తీసుకొని తగ్గించుకోవచ్చు. లేదా సపోజ్ కంపెనీ వాళ్ళు టోటల్ 100 రూపీస్ లో 60 రూపీస్ కాల్ఫర్ చేశారు. ఇంకా కంపెనీకి అన్పెయిడ్ వాల్యూ ఎంత ఉంటుంది? షేర్ వాల్యూ 40 రూపీస్ ఉంటుంది. అసలు ఇంకా 40 రూపీస్ అవసరం లేదు, మా ప్రాజెక్ట్ కంప్లీషన్ స్టేజ్ వచ్చేసింది, మాకు వచ్చిన డబ్బులన్నీ సరిపోతాయి అనుకున్నారనుకోండమ్మా, అటువంటి సందర్భాల్లో ఈ అన్పెయిడ్ వాల్యూని కంపెనీ వాళ్ళు తగ్గించేసుకోవచ్చు. దే కెన్ రెడ్యూస్ ద వాల్యూ ఆఫ్ ద షేర్ బై గివింగ్ అన్ ఇంటిమేషన్ టు ద షేర్ హోల్డర్స్. సబ్స్క్రైబ్ క్యాపిటల్ తగ్గించుకోవచ్చు. ఇక్కడ కూడా ఏం చేయాలి? కంపెనీ షుడ్ టేక్ ఎన్ అప్రూవల్ ఆఫ్ ది ట్రిమ్. సో ఇక్కడ డైరెక్ట్ గా క్యాపిటల్ ఎఫెక్ట్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి, ద రిడక్షన్ ఇస్ డైరెక్ట్లీ ఎఫెక్టింగ్ ద పెయిడ్ షేర్ క్యాపిటల్, ఇష్యూడ్ క్యాపిటల్ కాబట్టి, here the Companies Act is saying that it is mandatory to take the approval of the tribunal. That is why this particular topic, it is called reduction of share capital by order of the court under section 66. They will ask you the examination. Please explain. Please listen carefully or see the question carefully. If they are asking you to alter the capital clause, ante aa provision veru. If they are asking you how to reduce the share capital by the order of the court, ante you have to mention this particular concept. Ikkada, what are the steps to be taken before going for this reduction process? What are the important steps to be taken by the company? Company is steps తీసుకోవాలి. What are the important steps? First of all, the company should call for general meeting. A meeting call cheyalandi, general meeting call cheyalandi, and the company should pass special resolution. Okay, so please have a clarity here. If the company want to alter its capital clause by making alterations to its authorized capital, it is sufficient for the company to pass an ordinary resolution. Akkada ఏ resolution pass చేస్తే సరిపోతుంది? Ordinary resolution pass చేస్తే సరిపోతుంది. ఎక్కడైతే కంపెనీ వాళ్ళు క్యాపిటల్ రెడ్యూస్ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నారో కోర్టు పర్మిషన్ ద్వారా, ఇక్కడ కంపెనీ జనరల్ మీటింగ్ లో ఏ రిజల్యూషన్ తీసుకోవాలి? స్పెషల్ రిజల్యూషన్ తీసుకోవాలి. Special resolution pass చేయాలి. At the same time, company should also look into these three important points: that did company fail to make any repayments to the creditors? Did companies make any areas of payment for statutory dues like income tax, provident funds, insurance, ఇటువంటివి ఏమైనా పే చేయలేదా? కంపెనీ డిపాజిట్ హోల్డర్స్ కి, డిబెంచర్ హోల్డర్స్ కి ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ప్రాపర్ గా పే చేసిందా, పే చేయలేదా? ఇవన్నీ కూడా కంపెనీ షుడ్ కీప్ ఇన్ మైండ్ బిఫోర్ గోయింగ్ అండ్ టేకింగ్ అన్ అప్రూవల్ ఆఫ్ ది ట్రిబ్యునల్. Then what the company will do once the special resolution is passed? A copy of special resolution along with an application in prescribed form will be filed to the tribunal. ఎవరికి ఫైల్ చేస్తారండి? ట్రిబ్యునల్ కి ఫైల్ చేస్తారు. అప్పుడు ఈ ఎన్సిఎల్, ట్రిబ్యునల్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఎన్సిఎల్, విల్ లుక్ ఇన్ టు ద మ్యాటర్. చూస్తుంది రిజల్యూషన్ ఓకే, షేర్ హోల్డర్స్ పర్మిషన్ వచ్చింది. And the tribunal will also see that the company did not make any default in repayment of statutory dues or interest or for creditors. Then finally, what the tribunal will do, tribunal will send a notice to the ROC of that particular company, to the regional director of that particular company. Regional director is the place where the company is situated. The paridhilo ఉన్న regional director ko notice పంపిస్తుంది. If the company is a listed company, SEBI కూడా intimate చేస్తుంది. The tribunal will also give a notice to creditors, asking them to give their representation. వాళ్ళందరినీ అడుగుతుంది, మీకు ఏమైనా అభ్యంతరమా? కంపెనీ వాళ్ళ క్యాపిటల్ తగ్గించుకోవాలనుకుంటుంది, మీకు ఏమైనా అబ్జెక్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయా అని వాళ్ళు క్వశ్చన్ చేస్తుంది బై గివింగ్ దెమ్ ఏ నోటీస్. See, for whom all the tribunal కి ఒక అప్లికేషన్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత కంపెనీ దగ్గర నుంచి, ఇంటర్న్ ట్రిబ్యునల్ ఏం చేస్తుంది? ఇట్ విల్ గివ్ నోటీస్ టు ఆల్ దీస్ పీపుల్. Who are they? ROC, regional director, SEBI, అలాగా ఆ పర్టికులర్ కంపెనీ రిలేటెడ్ అయిన క్రెడిటర్స్ వాళ్ళందరికీ నోటీసులు పంపిస్తుంది. డూ యూ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ అబ్జెక్షన్స్? మీకు రావాల్సిన పేమెంట్ కానీ ఏమైనా బకాయిలు కానీ రాలేదా? మీకు ఏమైనా అబ్జెక్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయా? కంపెనీలో క్యాపిటల్ తగ్గించుకోవాలనుకుంటుంది అని అడిగిన తర్వాత వాళ్ళ దగ్గర నుంచి అబౌవ్ మెన్షన్డ్ పర్సన్స్ దగ్గర నుంచి ఎటువంటి అబ్జెక్షన్స్, నో రిప్రజెంటేషన్స్ హ్యావ్ నాట్ బీన్ రిసీవ్డ్ అనుకోండి, ఇట్ ఇస్ వెల్ అండ్ గుడ్. ఏమైనా అబ్జెక్షన్స్ వచ్చాయి అనుకోండి అమ్మా, కంపెనీ విల్ నాట్ అలౌ ద ట్రిబ్యునల్ విల్ నాట్ అలౌ ద కంపెనీ టు రెడ్యూస్ ఇట్స్ షేర్ క్యాపిటల్. If they did not get any objections ankondama, if they did not give any representations to the tribunal anko, then what the tribunal will do? Then tribunal will allow the company to reduce its share capital. Okay, so there should be provision in the articles. Beforehand, company should pass special resolution, and later on, company should make an application to the tribunal. In turn, tribunal will give notice to all these persons for asking them for representation if they have any objection. If they don't make any objections, then tribunal will allow the company to reduce its share capital. Once the tribunal is received by the company tribunal దగ్గర నుంచి అప్రూవల్ వచ్చింది అనుకోండి అమ్మా, ఈ అప్రూవల్ వచ్చిన తరువాత the company should file a copy of special resolution and tribunal's approval to ROC in a prescribed form. What the company have to do? It have to file a copy of special resolution and a copy of tribunal's approval to the ROC. అక్కడ కూడా ROC ఓకే అన్న తర్వాత ఈ రిడక్షన్ అనేది చేసి కంపెనీ పేరు పక్కన ఎన్ రెడ్యూస్డ్ అని రాసుకోవచ్చు. ఓకే, సో ఇక్కడ ఇన్ దిస్ పర్టికులర్ ఇన్స్టెన్స్ ద లయబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ ద మెంబర్స్ ఇస్ ఆల్సో రెడ్యూస్డ్ హియర్. వాట్ ఈస్ రెడ్యూస్డ్ హియర్? ద లయబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ ది member is also reduced here. How? Madam, suppose if the shareholder have to pay 100 rupees, the company want to reduce the value of the share to 60 rupees. Automatically, the shareholder would 40 rupees pay chance అవసరం లేదు కదా. So, the liability of unpaid value of the share is also reduced to the member. Okay, so in this particular way and procedure, the company will reduce its share capital. Okay, so once again, what is meant by reduction of share capital by order of the court under section 66? If company want to reduce the paid up share capital, subscribed share capital, then company will go for this procedure. In this particular procedure, the company is reducing the paid up value of the share, or the company is cancelling the unpaid value of the share. For that particular purpose, what are the important steps to be followed by the company? Initially, there should be a provision in the articles of provision. Next, the company should pass a special resolution and take the shareholders' approval. And finally, after this, the company should make an application to tribunal in prescribed form. And before making an application, company should ensure that it did not make any defaults in repayment of statutory dues, in repayment of interest on deposits, in repayment of any arrears to the creditors. It should not make any such defaults. And the confirmation also it should give it to tribunal. That the tribunal, what it will on the receipt of the application, it will look into that particular matter of the company. And the tribunal will send the notice to all these persons like ROCs, regional directors, central government is regional director, and if it is a listed company, to SEBI, to creditors of the company. For all of them, they will send the information, asking them to make their representations. Representation here means what? Why is this particular company is going for reducing the capital? And do you have any objections on the company to reduce the capital? They will ask them to reply. Tribunal will ask them to reply within a period of 3 months from the receipt of notice. If no objections or no representations have been made by these respective persons, means in such case, tribunal is confident, will go ahead and it will allow the company to reduce its capital. The tribunal will pass the order to reduce the capital of the company. Once the tribunal's approval is received by the company, what does the company have to do? It should file a copy of special resolution and file a copy of tribunal's approval to ROC. Once ROC is being intimated, afterwards the company can reduce its share capital, and the end of its name, it is mandatory for the company to write the word "and reduced." And reduced అన్న విషయాన్ని వాళ్ళు ఖచ్చితంగా మెన్షన్ చేయాలి. This is reduction of share capital. Important theoretical question which would be asked in your examination. Okay. Next, diminution of share capital. Madam, what is the meaning of diminution? Reduction ఏంటి, diminution ఏంటి? ఈ రెండింటికి difference ఏంటి madam? Here, the meaning of diminution means అది కూడా రిడక్షన్ లాంటిదే, కానీ డెమ్యూషన్ చేయడం వలన కంపెనీ యొక్క క్యాపిటల్ ఏమి ఎఫెక్ట్ అవ్వట్లేదు. నేను ఇందాక చెప్పా కదా, ఆథరైజ్డ్ క్యాపిటల్ తగ్గించడం వల్ల, సపోజ్ మేము ఎంఓఏ రాసుకున్న మన ఆథరైజ్డ్ క్యాపిటల్ ని రెడ్యూస్ చేయడం వల్ల మన బ్యాలెన్స్ షీట్ లో ఉన్న క్యాపిటల్ ఏమైనా ఎఫెక్ట్ అవుతుందా? క్యాపిటల్ లో అయినా ఆల్టరేషన్స్ వస్తుందా? రాదు. అంతే కదా. ఇప్పుడు మనకి 10 lakh షేర్స్ కావాలని మనం పబ్లిక్ కి ఇష్యూ చేసాం, కానీ మనకి 8 lakh షేర్స్ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ అయినాయి. అంటే అన్సబ్స్క్రైబ్డ్ షేర్స్ 2 lakhs ఉన్నాయి. ఆ అన్సబ్స్క్రైబ్ షేర్స్ ని క్యాన్సిల్ చేసాం అనుకోండి మనం, దానివల్ల ఏమైనా బ్యాలెన్స్ షీట్ లో ఇంపాక్ట్ ఉంటుందా? ఉండదు. సో ఎప్పుడు when there is no impact of the capital in the balance sheet, that is called as diminution. దాని diminution అంటారు. రిడక్షన్ కి డిమ్యూషన్ కి తేడా ఏంటంటే, రిడక్షన్ అనేది మనం పేడప్ క్యాపిటల్ ని, సబ్స్క్రైబ్ క్యాపిటల్ ని రెడ్యూస్ చేస్తున్నాం, and it have an impact on the capital on the balance sheet. Diminution is nothing but we are reducing the authorized capital, or we are cancelling the unsubscribed part of the issued capital, okay, which does not have any impact on the capital status of the company. Okay, so in case of reduction, we'll pass special resolution. In case of diminution, we'll pass ordinary resolution in the general meeting. See, these are the differences. Please, if they ask you to write for 2 marks or 3 marks in the examination, write difference between reduction and diminution, you have to write these following differences. Please note down. For the purpose of reduction of share capital, what resolution will pass? Special resolution. For the purpose of diminution, what resolution you will pass? Ordinary resolution. In case of reduction, we mandatorily require tribunal approval. In case of diminution, we need tribunal approval is not necessary. Understood? Okay. In both cases, there should be provision in the articles. Articles yokka provision anedi undali antunaru. Okay na? So this is all about the diminution of the share capital. So what is reduction of the share capital? Procedure for reduction of the share capital by order of the court. What is diminution of the share capital? I have specified. Okay. So what is the basic difference between both we are discussed. So with this, the concept of reduction of share capital is over. Now we are entering into the very, very important concept of buyback. Before going for buyback, we will know this particular important section 67 of the Companies Act. Okay, so madam, now I will once again, before going for buyback, I will tell you. I already mentioned it. There is a maximum life for a preference share. What is the maximum life for a preference share? 20 years. Except in case of companies which are involved in infrastructure activities, for them it is 30 years. In other cases, it is 20 years. In this particular case, in case of this preference shares, which before completion of 20 years, what the company have to do? I told 2 options available with the company. One is they have to redeem the preference shares. The company will purchase back the preference shares, or the preference shares have to be either converted into a equity shares. Okay, this is an option left with the company. However, there is no restriction in case of an equity share. Equity shares ఎన్నేళ్ళైనా possess చేసుకోవచ్చు. There is no maximum life for an equity share. But however, in some instances, only after satisfying the respective provisions of the Companies Act, company can go ahead and purchase its own equity shares, which is called as buyback at a market price. Okay, only in certain cases, whereby following the respective provisions of Companies Act, company can go and purchase back its equity share, which is called as buyback. ఎవరి దగ్గర నుంచి కొంటారు మేడం? ఫ్రమ్ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ ఈక్విటీ షేర్ హోల్డర్స్ నుంచి కొనొచ్చు, లేదా బయట ఓపెన్ మార్కెట్ దగ్గర నుంచి అయినా కొనొచ్చు. Understood? Okay. Here, before going in, restrictions on purchase by the company. Generally, they say that public company directly or indirectly cannot purchase shares or cannot offer the loan for purchasing of its shares in the open market, which is void. Okay, unless and until they have a specific reason, they cannot go directly and purchase. And they should not create any artificial demand for these shares by purchasing shares directly from the open market or giving loan to some financial institutions or somebody else and asking them to purchase the shares. This is void. A subsidiary company cannot purchase the shares of a holding company. We all knew this point. However, this point is also called as an exceptions to buyback. Means it is not called as buyback. If they ask you to write what are exceptions to buyback, you should write all these points. Okay, and this is also asked in your practical area. Practical area also on this particular respective point, they would ask a question. We will discuss later on. Okay, so this is called as an exceptions to buyback. What are these? What are those, madam? Okay, if company redeem its preference shares, you cannot call it as a buyback. We know no preference shares is different, equity shares are different. If the company is redeeming its preference shares or its company is redeeming its debentures, it is not called as buyback because Companies Act itself mentioned the life of preference shares and the life of debentures. And during an ordinary course of business, if a banking company is giving a loan to outsiders, regular instance లో నార్మల్ యాక్టివిటీగా నార్మల్ బిజినెస్ యాక్టివిటీగా ఒక బ్యాంకింగ్ కంపెనీ హెచ్డిఎఫ్సి బ్యాంకో లేదా ఎస్బీఐ బ్యాంకో పర్సనల్ లోన్స్ లాంటివి ఆఫర్ చేస్తుంది కస్టమర్స్ కి and that loan can be used for any purpose by the customer. And if the same customer with the particular loan he purchased the shares of SBI bank ankondamma, it means that SBI bank is encouraging the customer to purchase its shares which are existing in outside market. No, because it is a business of them to offer loan to the customer who will come and ask the banking company. It is not a kind of indirect encouragement for the customers to purchase the shares. Therefore, that is also an exception for buyback. Lending of money by a banking company in an ordinary course of business to outsiders is not called as buyback. Next, please elaborate these points, whatever I am saying now. For suppose, if a company as a trustees ga కంపెనీలో పనిచేసే ఎంప్లాయీస్ తరపున గాని డైరెక్టర్స్ తరపున గాని కంపెనీలో ఉన్న బయట ఉన్న ఫుల్లీ పేడ్ అప్ షేర్స్ కొని వాళ్ళ కోసం ఆ ఎంప్లాయీస్ డైరెక్టర్స్ కోసం ట్రస్టీస్ గా హెల్డ్ చేస్తోంది అనుకోండి, వాళ్ళని ఎంకరేజ్ చేయడం కోసం వాళ్ళు ఎంతో కంపెనీకి సర్వీస్ చేశారనే ఉద్దేశంతో ఫుల్లీ పేడ్ అప్ షేర్స్ కొని దాచుతో వాళ్ళ ట్రస్టీగా ఉందనుకోండి వాళ్ళ షేర్స్ కి కంపెనీ, దట్ ఈస్ నాట్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ బైబ్యాక్. Okay, if a company holds fully paid up shares as a trustees for the benefit of employees, here employee includes director, is not called as buyback. Okay, next, if company is giving loans to its employees other than directors here employees means only employees other than directors or managers. If directors or managers are only employees. If company is giving loan to the to the employees other than directors, helping them to purchase fully paid up shares, underline the word fully paid up shares. Okay, and however the loan amount should not exceed their 6 months of their salary or wage. Loan amount ఇస్తున్నాం కదా అని ఎంత పడితే అంత ఇచ్చేయకూడదమ్మా. ఆ ఎంప్లాయీ యొక్క శాలరీ ఆ 6 months శాలరీకి పెంచకూడదు అంటున్నారు. The loan should not exceed 6 months of the salary of the employee. Only in such cases, only in that particular case, it is not called as a buyback. And that loan amount should be put it at this particular point as star mark, because in this particular point you have a case law. Okay, if a company is giving loan to the employee, excluding directors, for purchase of fully paid up shares, is not called as a buyback, and such loan amount should not exceed 6 months of the salary of the employee. Very, 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 very important. So all these points are not called as buyback. Therefore, it is called as an exception to buyback. ఏమంటాండి దాన్ని? Exception to buyback గా మనం పిలుస్తున్నాం. ఓకే, ఈ పై చెప్పిన పాయింట్స్ లో కంపెనీ ఏదైనా కాంట్రవీన్ చేస్తే కంపెనీ అండ్ ఇట్స్ ఆఫీసర్స్ ఆర్ లయబుల్ ఫర్ పెనాల్టీ. If company contravenes the above said provisions, company and officers are liable for penalty. This is discussed under section 67 of the companies. Okay. Now, what is buyback under section 68 of the Companies Act? Buyback and the madam. Company దగ్గర huge accumulated profits ఉన్నాయి. చాలా profits ఉన్నాయి. Company, what company's objective is, company want to reduce the number of shares in the market. Company want to increase the value of the share. Company want to increase the value of the share. Company want to reduce the number of equity shares. So the dilution, decision making లో dilution ఉండకుండా ఉండడం కోసమని కంపెనీ వాళ్ళు వాళ్ళ యొక్క ఈక్విటీ షేర్స్ ని నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఈక్విటీ షేర్స్ తగ్గించుకోవాలనుకుంటున్నారు. కంపెనీ దగ్గర ఎక్సెస్ ఫండ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఫండ్స్ ఇన్ ఫ్రీ రిజర్వ్స్, ఫండ్స్ ఇన్ సెక్యూరిటీస్ అకౌంట్, చాలా ఎక్సెస్ ఫండ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. వాట్ దే కెన్ డూ, దే కెన్ గివ్ అన్ ఆఫర్ టు ద shareholders, equity shareholders, that they would purchase those shares for market value. Market value కి కొంటాము అని ఒక ఆఫర్ చేయొచ్చు. ఓకే, మరి ఎక్కడి నుంచి ద బైబ్యాక్ పర్పస్ కోసమని ఏ ఫండ్స్ ని ఉపయోగించవచ్చు కంపెనీ వాళ్ళు? కంపెనీ కెన్ యూజ్ ఫ్రీ రిజర్వ్స్, కంపెనీ కెన్ యూజ్ సెక్యూరిటీస్ ప్రీమియం, ఆర్ కంపెనీ కెన్ యూజ్ ప్రొసీడ్స్ ఆఫ్ ఎనీ అదర్ ఇష్యూ ఆఫ్ సెక్యూరిటీస్ అదర్ దాన్ ద షేర్స్ విచ్ ఆర్ company can use securities premium account and company can use the proceeds of any other specified issue. Ala, they can purchase, ever they can coach from whom they can purchase directly from open market, they can purchase from existing equity shareholders, or they can purchase from the employees for whom the ESOPs are given. వాళ్ళకి ఆ పర్టికులర్ షేర్స్ ని కొనుక్కొని మార్కెట్ ప్రైస్ అమౌంట్ ని వాళ్ళకి ఇచ్చేయచ్చు. Okay, so they can purchase it from them and they can give market price to them. So they are also happy, they are getting money in exchange of shares. So they are giving back the shares to the company equity shares, and for that exchange they are getting a money at a market value, money at a higher price. However, what the Companies Act says is this process is not an easy task for a company. You have to follow the respective provisions which are very important conditions for buyback. What are they called as? Conditions for buyback under section 68. This would be asked as a theoretical question from your examination perspective. They would ask, what are the conditions for buyback? Please explain. You should mention all the conditions what I'm going to explain you now. ఇప్పుడు చెప్పే కండిషన్స్ అన్ని కూడా మీరు మెన్షన్ చేయాలి. అర్థమవుతుందమ్మా? దీస్ ఆర్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ కండిషన్స్ ఫర్ బైబ్యాక్. నెంబర్ 1, there should be provision in the articles. Buyback of equity shares అన్న ఒక కాన్సెప్ట్ కి ప్రొవిజన్, it requires a provision in the articles. Point number 2, మాక్సిమం కంపెనీకి ఎంత వరకు బైబ్యాక్ చేసే, ఆల్ ఈక్విటీ షేర్స్ బైబ్యాక్ చేసేస్తుందా కంపెనీ? 100% ఆఫ్ షేర్స్ బైబ్యాక్ చేస్తుంది? నో. The company can go for buyback maximum to the extent of 25% of the paid up share capital plus free reserves. What they are saying? 25% of the total paid up equity share capital plus free reserves. Buyback eligible. Can you one more limitation is there at the same point? If the company is buying back less than or equal to 10% of total paid up equity share capital plus free reserves, and 10% అంతకన్నా తక్కువ paid up share capital equity plus free reserves amount అంత buyback చేస్తున్నట్లయితే, it is sufficient for the company to pass a board resolution. What resolution is sufficient for the company to pass? Board resolution. However, if the company is going for buyback for more than 10% but up to 25% of total equity share capital plus free reserves, then the company should pass a special resolution in the general meeting. A resolution pass cheyali, special resolution pass cheyali. ఎప్పుడైతే మనం ఈ షేర్స్ ని బైబ్యాక్ చేస్తామో, ఆ షేర్స్ ని ఈక్విటీ షేర్స్ వాట్ ఎవర్ వి బాట్ బ్యాక్, కంపెనీ షుడ్ డిస్ట్రాయ్ దెమ్ విత్ ఇన్ ఎ పీరియడ్ ఆఫ్ 7 days. What the company have to do? It should physically destroy these shares. Company, after passing special resolution within a period of 12 months, it should buy back. And buyback వెంటనే చేయాలా మేడం అంటే, the Companies Act is giving time for buyback. The time for buyback is 12 months. ఎంత టైం లోపల బైబ్యాక్ చేయాలి? 12 months లోపల బైబ్యాక్ చేయాలి. And in 1 year, how many times a company can go for buyback, madam? ఎన్నిసార్లు కంపెనీ బైబ్యాక్ కి వెళ్ళచ్చు? కంపెనీ కెన్ గో ఓన్లీ వన్స్ ఇన్ వన్ ఫైనాన్షియల్ ఇయర్. కంపెనీ ఎన్నిసార్లు వెళ్ళొచ్చునా? ఓన్లీ వన్స్ ఇన్ వన్ ఫైనాన్షియల్ ఇయర్. అండర్స్టాండ్? ఓకే. సో ఫర్ ఎటువంటి సందర్భంలో బోర్డ్ రిజల్యూషన్ కావాలి? In what instance we need board resolution for buyback? At what instance we need special resolution? I have mentioned. Okay, there should be a provision in the article. Since in case of special resolution means it is mandatory for the company to give an explanatory statement explaining the facts and figures along with the notice. Madam, at the time of buyback, company will purchase partly paid up equity shares or fully paid up equity shares. It is mandatory for the company to purchase only fully paid up equity shares. Redemption of preference shares aina, redemption of debentures aina, buyback of equity shares aina, ee moodu cases lo kuda fully paid up shares ne venaki teeskuntaru, fully paid up debentures ne venaki teeskuntaru, redeem chestaru. Understood? For the purpose of buyback, company should buy only fully paid up equity shares. And the debt equity ratio of the company should not exceed 2:1 ratio. Debt equity ratio enta maintain cheyali? 2:1. And the company should also get a solvency declaration certificate signed by at least 2 directors of the company and 1 director is the managing director before going for buyback. Ee conditions anni kuda man buyback ki velle mundu satisfy cheyalsina points amma. All these conditions should be satisfied before going for buyback. A declaration of solvency certificate should also be signed by 2. Solvency means what? Company is in a very profitable position. Company is not at any where the company is not going for a insolvency. Company is having huge funds. Company is having good market. In such case, they should get this declaration of solvency from which is signed by 2 directors and one of them should be a managing director. Okay. And the buyback should be completed within a period of 12 months from the passing of special resolution. In case the company is a listed company, along with the Companies Act provisions, the company should also follow SEBI provisions. Listed company aite Companies Act provision to paatu SEBI provisions kuda follow avvali. Okay? Okay, fine. Madam, all these conditions are happily satisfied by the company. Mari buyback chesina tarvata, once the company buyback the equity shares, again can it immediately go and issue the shares again fresh in the market? Then the purpose of buyback is not satisfied. No, we are buying back the shares because we don't want to dilute our decision making. We want to increase the value of the share. Again, if you are going in, what purpose it is serving? So what the Companies Act says is, once you go for buyback, you should not again issue those equity shares for a period of 6 months. ఇక నెక్స్ట్ 6 months వరకు మళ్ళీ మీరు ఎటువంటి ఫర్దర్ ఇష్యూ కానీ మీరు ఎటువంటి ఫ్రెష్ ఇష్యూ కానీ వెళ్ళకూడదు. కానీ however, in this period of 6 months, you can go and issue bonus shares, or you can convert the preference shares or debentures into equity shares, or you can issue stock options, sweat equity shares. ఇటువంటివన్నీ కూడా చేసుకోవచ్చు. But you should not go for any fresh issue of equity shares. Okay. Now, what the Companies Act says here is, the company should not make, the same point is here, what we have said in reduction of shares. The company should not make any default in repayment of statutory dues. The company should not make any default in filing annual returns to ROC. And the subsidiary company cannot purchase the shares of a holding company. And company should not commit any offences under any other statutory acts like SEBI, FEMA, etc. or Income Tax Act. However, if the company does any of these mistakes, ఇటువంటి తప్పులు చేస్తే మటుకు company cannot go for buyback. What is this, madam? Companies sometimes can do mistakes, you know. How this can be remedied? How this can be changed means what Companies Act says is, if company does any mistake or any fault, and if that fault is corrected, and only 3 years from completion of the correction, company can go for buyback. Understood? Very, very important point. If company have done some mistake, and if that mistake is corrected, only from the date of correction, after completion of 3 years, company can go for buyback. And for the purpose of buyback also, the CRR reserve account, redemption kani, buyback case lo kani, anni case lo CRR ane specific reserve ni create chestaru. Understood? These are very, very important points relating to buyback. Okay. Here, they say directly or indirectly, subsidiary company too should not purchase the shares financial companies to purchase its own shares from the open market. Okay. So, with this, the concept of buyback, the important conditions I have explained. Once again, I will tell you. Buyback of equity shares will be done by the company if company thinks that it is having excess funds. And if you want to increase, then the company can go for buyback. Sources of buyback are free reserves, securities premium, and proceeds of any issue. However, if the company want to go for buyback, it is mandatory. It cannot go as it wish. It's a mandatory rule that company should follow these respective conditions. What are the conditions, madam? There should be provision in the articles, and the percentage of buyback should not exceed 25% of total paid up equity share capital plus free reserves. If the company is going for buyback for 10% or less, board resolution is sufficient. More than 10%, less than 25%, special resolution is required. Since they are passing special resolution, explanatory statement is needed to be sent along with the notice by the directors. Company should get a solvency certificate verified and signed by 2 directors and one managing, among it one managing director. And the buyback will take place within 12 months from the end of the financial year. And in 1 year, company can go for buyback only once, not more than once. Once the equity shares are bought back, they should be destroyed within a period of next 7 days. Okay, these all are important points which you have to keep in mind. And if it is a listed company, it should follow SEBI rules. Okay, however, since the company is going for buyback, for next 6 months, company should not go for again fresh issue of equity shares. Except it can issue bonus shares or convert preference shares into equity shares, issue stock options or issue sweat equity shares. These all company can do. And before going for buyback, company should verify that it have not committed any defaults, like non-payment of statutory dues or non-payment of interest to creditors or deposit holders. Or it should not commit any offense under the any statutory act which are applicable to the company. If such defaults are committed, it should remedy them. It should correct them. Only after completion of 3 years from the date of correction, the company can go for buyback. Okay. So these are very, 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 very important points relating to buyback, conditions for buyback. Now understood? There is redemption of preference shares. There is redemption of debentures. And buyback is for equity shares. You should understand the term buyback is written for equity shares. And I have already mentioned you the exceptions of buyback. So what all important concepts which you learned in today's class are: what is rights issue? What is bonus issue? What is difference between rights issue and bonus issue? What is meant by forfeiture of shares? What is meant by surrender of shares? What is difference between forfeiture and surrender? And what is the concept of reduction of share capital by order of the court? What is the concept of diminution of the share capital? What is the basic difference between them? And we have seen what are the exceptions to buyback and the concept of buyback. Okay, so these are the important aspects. Now, when you come to the practical questions, I will discuss these questions with you. So, everyone, listen here. Before going for the practical issue, let me ask you true or false. Forfeiture of shares for non-payment of calls amount to reduction of share capital. Yes, no. Here, court permission is not required. If you are forfeiting partly paid up shares, are forfeited because the call money is not paid by the shareholders, then your share capital is increased or reduced? It is reduced. Here, anywhere you need to take an approval of the court for going for forfeiture? No, not necessary, because it is a provision clearly specified in the Companies Act. So the statement is true. Next, special resolution is necessary for authorizing the reduction of share capital. The company want to reduce the share capital. By the order of special resolution, yes, special resolution. If the company want to reduce the share capital, pay the share capital, criminal approval is also necessary? Yes, criminal approval also is necessary. Okay, so in this case, they ask you to mention what is true, what is false. Please try to mention clearly. Okay, now let's discuss the case laws. Here, a limited company issued certain number of shares to a subscriber of memorandum on a promissory note executed by him. Promissory note is also a negotiable instrument. Instead of giving cash, he gave promissory note from which the company would receive the money. But no money was paid. Company could not receive money on the promissory note. It waited for 5 years. Now, after 5 years, the company want to forfeit the shares. Is it possible? Is it valid? They ask. Okay. Now, what the Companies Act says is if the companies want to forfeit the shares, they should do within a period of 3 years. Because the company should wait for allotment for amount for a period of 3 months, 3 years. And if the company want to forfeit later on, it is not possible. Therefore, the company cannot forfeit the shares because already 5 years have been elapsed. Now, company should wait until the amount is reached to that particular company on those shares. Okay. Next one. A company wants to provide financial assistance to its employees. Please here, this particular case law is relating to the exceptions part which we have discussed earlier before the beginning of buyback. So please underline, please put it as a star mark. A company wants to provide financial assistance to its employees and enable them and help them to subscribe for fully paid up shares of the company. You will call it as a buyback. No, because it is under exception of buyback. If a company provides financial assistance to its employees for purchase of fully paid up shares and the loan amount, if it is not exceeding 6 months of the salary or wage, then it is not considered as buyback. Okay. The second instance, if the company itself purchases to redeem its preference shares, does it amount to acquisition of own shares? And acquisition of own shares antama anamu, because redemption of preference shares also falls in the category of exception to buyback. Understood? Now see the next one. Third question. The board of directors of XYZ Limited, which is subsidiary of SRL Limited, therefore holding company here is SRL Limited, and XYZ Limited directors are mentioned here, decides to grant a loan of rupees 2 lakhs to pick. Here, see, the company wants to give a loan to a director. How much loan they are giving? 2 lakh rupees. No. The company is giving a loan. The board of directors have decided to grant a loan to the finance manager. How much, Mr. P? 2 lakh rupees. Who is getting a salary of 30,000 per month. What is the salary? 30,000. For purchase of partly paid up shares of 1,000 rupees each. Examine whether this decision is valid. Now, first you should understand the question. What they are mentioning in the question, the directors of holding company wanted to give loan to finance manager of the company who is getting 30,000 rupees per month as a salary for purchase of partly paid up shares of their own company, of XYZ company. Is it possible? Now you should see whether it is buyback or whether it is falling under the case of exception to buyback. Last point of exception to buyback, where I asked you to put the star mark, that point, this particular aspect is. In that particular point, they specifically mentioned that if the company is providing loan to its employees other than directors or managers, for purchase of fully paid up shares, not partly paid up shares, that loan amount should not exceed 6 months of their salary or wage. Now calculate, salary here mentioned is 30,000 into 6. So it is what? 1,80,000. So if at all the company have to give the loan, it should not exceed 1,80,000. But company decided to give 2 lakhs, which is void. Okay. And company is encouraging the finance. First of all, giving loan for finance manager is not acceptable for purchase of partly paid up shares. Therefore, this particular aspect is not satisfying the provisions of exemption to buyback. The act of the company is void. It is violating the provisions of buyback. Therefore, company and its directors are liable for penalty because it is not satisfying the conditions of exceptions. So the salary is 1,80,000, which have a loan amount exceeded the salary, and moreover, it is given to finance manager, who is a key managerial person, which should not be given, and it does not enjoy the benefits of exemption under buyback. Therefore, company and its officers are liable for penalty, and the decision of the board is not valid. You should mention clearly it is not valid. Next one, fourth one. At a general meeting of the members of ABC Company Limited, passed an ordinary resolution for buyback of 30% of equity share capital. The company's AOA empower the company for buyback. The company further decides to payment of buyback should be made out of proceeds of earlier issue of equity shares. And a source of buyback kuda emtita equity shares, earlier issue ఉన్న equity shares amount vaadamantunnaru. Explain the provisions of Companies Act whether the buyback of its own shares is valid. Company's proposal is order or kaada. Would your answer be same if instead of 30%, if company would buy back 25%? Here, first we should see the very important point. If company is going for buyback, the buyback should not exceed 30% of paid up share capital. If the company is going for buyback, the buyback should not be exceed 25% of paid up share capital in free reserves of the company. Here, the company is going to buy back more than 25%, which is invalid, which is going against the provisions of Companies Act. The Companies Act have given a maximum limit of 25% only. There is no point of 30%. That too by passing ordinary resolution. అసలు 10% కన్నా ఎక్కువ అయితే ఖచ్చితంగా ఏ రెజల్యూషన్ పాస్ చేయాలి? స్పెషల్ రెజల్యూషన్. ఫస్ట్ పాయింట్, the proposal of companies is not in order. The proposal of the company is not valid. And దానికి తోడు కంపెనీ వాంట్ యూజ్ ద ఎర్లియర్ ఇష్యూ ఆఫ్ ఈక్విటీ షేర్స్ యొక్క ఫండ్ ని బైబ్యాక్ యూజ్ చేయాలంటుంది. వ్యాలిడా? కాదు. ఇక్కడ కూడా ద కంపెనీ షుడ్ యూజ్ ద సోర్స్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్రీ రిజర్వ్స్, సెక్యూరిటీస్ ప్రీమియం ఆర్ ప్రొసీడ్స్ ఆఫ్ ఎనీ అదర్ ఇష్యూ, నాట్ ద ప్రీవియస్ equity shares. So this proposal is also invalid. And third one, they are asking, instead of 30%, if company reduced 25%, then the answer would be the same. Then the answer would be valid. They're asking. No, because even though you come for 25%, there you are specifying that you are passing ordinary resolution. You should cancel ordinary resolution and you should pass special resolution. Only then it would be valid. So in all the three cases, in all the three questions, the company's proposal is not valid. They are saying the company's proposal is absolutely invalid. Okay. So in this way, they ask you to write to the practical question. First, to mention the provision. To what percentage the company can go for buyback? What are the sources of buyback? Then write, explain in analysis. In analysis part, you explain. Finally, as a conclusion, you write the proposal of the company is not valid based on the above provision and analysis. Okay, so this particular concept of buyback and exceptions to buyback, this concept is very important. Mandatorily, they may ask you either as theoretical question or they will test you in the case law format. So be prepared, be ready to handle this particular concept. Either as a theoretical question, if they ask you, please mention, write in the bulleted points, write the point wise. Or if they ask you to write as a case law, please be prepared for it. Okay, so in this way, we have completed the concept of share capital. So before the share capital, we have seen the procedure for allotment. Before, see, from first, let me recap once. Until now, 10 days of our sessions are over. In this particular 10 days, we have discussed so many important chapters of Companies Act. Almost half of your Companies Act is over. And for remaining 10 days, another 50% of Companies Act is remaining. So this entire 20 days will give you the clear picture of Companies Act, which is very, very important. First classes, in all these 10 days, we have seen this introduction, types of companies, what is MOA and AOA, different doctrines of MOA and AOA, and how to alter the classes of MOA and AOA. Afterwards, we have seen the procedure for, we have discussed the concept of prospectus, types of prospectus, Okay, so we have seen the concept of private placement, GDRs, everything. And next we came to the procedure for allotment of shares. And in between, we also have completed the concept of incorporating a company, how to incorporate a company. And after allotment of securities, we started discussing this concept of share cap. And in this share cap also, we have discussed so many aspects. Okay, and today we have completed the concept of bonus shares, further issue, forfeiture of shares, surrender of shares, reduction of share capital by order of the court, and the concept of buyback. In the concept of buyback also, we have seen the exceptions and conditions for buyback. All these are completed with few important case laws. And we also covered the concept of transfer and transmission of shares, share certificate in the previous class. So with this, the share capital chapter is over. And tomorrow's session, I'm going to discuss the concept of debentures, deposits, and charge. What is a debenture? What are the concepts of deposits and charge? After that only, we are going to start general meetings, which is very, very important and mandatory question from the concept of general meetings. Okay, so I hope everyone understood the today's concepts. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me. And let me see whether you are having any doubts or not. Okay. Here someone asked, Madam, if we surrender the shares, we can take back money from the company. No, it is not possible. Company will not give you back the money. Okay, you can exchange it for fully paid up shares of another company, but you cannot take back any money from the company when you voluntarily surrender the fully paid up shares. It can be exchanged with some other type of shares. Okay, so I hope and there are no much questions left. If anyone have the questions, you can ask me. Hope you are understanding the session. And in between, we have buffering. We have few buffer internet problems, so please excuse me for that. So with this, I hope everything is clear. Everyone understood, enjoyed the session with our power capsules. So thank you so much, friends. Thank you so much, dear students. I wish please prepare, please revise based on the revision classes we are providing from the Institute of ICAI Vijayawada branch. Use this opportunity, wonderful opportunity, and write well in the examination. Okay, thank you so much. See you tomorrow, same time, same place, and bye bye for today.